Can't we talk? Or?
Hi, guys, and welcome to your Humankind podcast. Today is Friday 20th, which is spring equinox, so new beginnings. My name is Giancarlo Tavares. Welcome to one more episode of your Humankind. I'm very excited today. We have a very special guest, Julia, which we're gonna be having a beautiful and powerful conversation today, as well as letting you know the different events that we're going to have here at Humankind. John is going to be telling that. And I just want you to feel at home, to join us, to leave your perspectives. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling, how you're doing. How was your week, by the way? There's so many challenges, so much expansion happening on planet Earth, maybe in your family, maybe you're being called to transition to a new business, or your relationships are transitioning in whatever ways they are. So I want to invite you as well to give yourself grace and to take a moment to breathe, to slow down, and to allow your creativity, your intuition, your heart, your soul to lead the way. And for that, I have the message of the week that I'm going to read right here. It says, "Today marks the spring equinox, a special moment of perfect balance between light and dark. It's a reset point, a doorway, a powerful, energetic invitation to begin again. Just like nature is awakening, you are being called to rise, to expand, and to step into the next version of your life. So, what does that look like for you? And you can start with how does that feels like for me, and give your body that somatic experience so that frequency can become a reality, a tangible reality in your life. So this is the energy of number one, new beginnings. Number two, clarity and alignment. Number three, planting intentional seeds. How to use this energy? Pause and get honest with yourself. What do you truly, truly desire to create this month and in 2026? What do I need to become to hold this reality? What am I ready to release to make space for it? What aligned actions can I start taking today? Write your vision down, speak it out loud, feel it in your body as if it's already yours. Spring doesn't force growth, it allows it. So this is an invitation to soften, to trust, and to take grounded action. The seeds you plant now with intention, emotion, and consistency will shape your reality for the rest of the year. So remember that you are not starting over, you're starting a line. That is the message of the day. And now I'm going to have John share with us the events of the week. So, how you doing, John?
Great. How are things going for you today, brother?
Pretty excited.
Good,
I'm
good, good.
grateful for this day and for this opportunity to be here with you guys and everybody watching us.
So amazing. Thank you very much for passing this on over to me. I'll go ahead and give updates on events. Some of you might not know this, but Julia does our Thursdays yoga here every Thursday. So that's what we definitely have that going on every Thursday. Fridays, we have Frequency Friday. This week we have, Lisa Anderson from Colorado. She's doing the Frequency Friday event tonight, which is going to be amazing. We hung out all weekend long doing the Elevate conference, and the ladies were absolutely great. If you guys want to rewatch that at all, you can watch that on our YouTube channel. So we broadcasted it live. This weekend we don't have any events this weekend, but tomorrow, Tuesday, we have Moe's that's going to be in town. That's going to be an amazing event. That's going to be a sold out event on a Tuesday. I know, a Tuesday, but it's going to be amazing. He's going to have a great time. Everybody's going to have a great time that day. And that was through Makeda Reciprocity Music is actually doing that event here. Then next week we have Alexander Soul, which is he has his Soul Sensations event with Dr. Feelgoods, which is going to be another amazing dance by Alex. And then coming up, I wanted to shout this out in what is it, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We have our next conference, which is called Stellar. So definitely want you guys to keep your eye on that because that's going to be an amazing 3-day event that we're going to be doing next. So, all right, thank you. I think that's all I have for events right now. I'll pass that back over to you, John Carlos.
Thank you, John. And are we having karaoke tonight?
That is right. Yes, we will be having karaoke tonight. That's one of the good things. This is our second night doing karaoke. We're going to be doing karaoke every Friday. The doors open up at 7, and we will be we'll be starting the music at 8. So we have 2 hours of singing and dancing and hanging out all together. So look forward to seeing everybody there for that too.
Last Friday was so much fun. We had a blast, and even John said, "Ooh, you even got me singing." So that was my favorite compliment of the night, and everybody was singing and dancing and expressing. So if you would like to share your voice, your music, your poem, your dance, your presence, please come join us tonight. It's gonna be really fun. And now, today I have the honor of being with a powerful woman, a guide, a teacher, a living embodiment of wisdom, intuition, and truth. Julia Rotella is a licensed life and relationship coach, certified through the transformational Mars and Venus coaching. That sounds really cool, by the way. Inspired by Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by John Gray. Julia is also a professional Vedic astrologer, which I'm super excited to dive into that side of the conversation. A board advisor of LightNet, co-founder of Fashion Lab Sedona, a world traveler, wilderness backpacker, and a devoted mother who homeschooled her 3 children all the way through university. That's so brave and so beautiful, and we need so much more of that. At the core of her work is a simple but profound truth. All knowledge is within you. Julia helps people reconnect to that inner wisdom, navigate uncertainty, and make deeply aligned and empowered choices. Julia, thank you so much for being here with us at the Humankind podcast. Welcome to the show, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It's so nice to be here at Humankind. And I feel like I'm at home here. So I've been here a number of times. I teach yoga here. So exciting. Yes, I'm a life coach, and I'm a Vedic astrologer. And everything you said is pretty much, it's true about me. Yes.
I did my homework.
Good job, by the way.
If anybody has a question or comment for Julia, you can leave it in the comments, by the way. And maybe you don't know her, but you're about to. Was there a specific moment in your life, Julia, where you realized your path was to guide others back to their inner wisdom?
Yes, it happened to me. It's still happening to me. So I realized through the life we go through stages. When we are little kids, we are needy. We need support, we need help to grow, to eat, and so on, to learn new things. And as we mature, it's time to give back. So guidance is very important for me. I like to guide people. I like to give them wisdom and knowledge. In fact, my website is Knowledge in You, which simply means you can access all knowledge within yourself. And I like to empower people to do that.
You said you like to borrow people?
Empower.
Or empower
Empower people. It's very important because quite often we are programmed we are conditioned not to believe ourselves, and this is wrong. So you can access all the knowledge you have. And even up to these days, when I make important decisions, I always ask my higher self. So there is a certain way you can learn how to do it. It's not hard. Everybody can access this knowledge. So, and we need to learn how to get this knowledge, how to trust ourselves, that this knowledge is just as good, even better, and go with that. It's going to help you.
We have been conditioned to believe that being in our power, being powerful, being connected to our essence, using our voices is something egotistical and all that jazz, but that's a distorted of what's in reality. The more we're connected to our power, to our souls, to our essence, we can really be and do and have what we came to this planet to accomplish.
Yes, there are a lot of experts, skilled people. Like if you get sick, you have to go to the doctor. If you need to maintain the house, you go to the contractor, and so on and so on. There is always some type of person who will know better than you. And then it comes to a point like, okay, what am I good at? Well, I might be good just at one thing. Let's say somebody is a doctor. And so that person might be good at treating patients, but it doesn't mean he doesn't know anything else about life. So that's what it's important to understand, the wisdom, the knowledge is much wider, and we need to access it any time. So I'm not suggesting go and do your plumbing on your own, but what I'm saying is there are simple questions you can ask yourself and you can get answers. You don't have, you just need to trust yourself. That's where it comes.
Or learn how to trust yourself, right? Like when you're a little kid and you're learning how to swim, you do it
You're
by
right.
practicing, right? By
Yes.
moving your legs and then going underneath the water and
I like it,
breathing
yeah.
a little longer. And that's kind of like an analogy that we can use for life and also to learn to trust ourselves.
Yes, we start learning first how to trust, and then we trust. And as you trust yourself, then you trust others. So, and that's a big issue too. We do not trust others because we don't trust ourselves. We don't know the mechanism of that. We don't know how this happens.
And that doesn't mean not having boundaries, right?
Yes.
Boundaries is a very important aspect of trusting ourselves and also trusting others.
Yes.
Let me ask you another question, Julia. When you say that all the knowledge is within you, what does that actually look like and feels like? First, like I was saying behind the cameras, for you in your own personal life to the degrees that you like to share, and then for them. What does that looks like? What does that feels like?
Yeah, so I've been in situations in life when I was in a very difficult situation and I could not access any help, I couldn't ask questions. I was looking for mentors. I didn't have any mentors. I'm talking about my younger years, like even being teenager. And it was very challenging. And this is when I started learning just like, I know it. I'm going to do it. And I started learning how to trust myself, making small steps and bigger steps. I realized I'm strong enough and my knowledge is just as good as anybody else. So why am I looking for somebody else to tell me what I should do with my life or in certain situations, how I should do? You can access this knowledge through different ways. You can, some people are very religious, that they talk to the God. I'm esoterical. I like to access knowledge through different hints that nature presents, situation presents. Sometimes, like I'll give you an instance. For instance, like my dreams, they can also reveal truth to me, and I did get some answers through the dreams. And it's again, it's
Like
not,
the dream world at night when you're sleeping?
yes. So I will wake up like before the night. I will be full of questions and just like I need to find the answer. What should I do? I need it. And then in the morning I'm up and like it's so simple. how could I not know about that? So it's like not just the answer, but actually explanation in such a complete manner that it's like, oh, this is absolutely possible, and it's like now I know what to do. So, and again, it comes with the trust. You need to go inward, inside of yourself, and go and figure it out how it works for you. There are certain techniques, and I'm very happy to share it. That's what I do with my coaching. I help out people with certain issues. And how do you get this knowledge?
To listen to the voice of our hearts, right?
Yes.
Because we have been so conditioned to listen to the teacher, listen to the doctor,
Or to the
listen
news.
to the lawyer.
Yes,
What about
exactly.
your own voice?
Yes.
What about
It's
your
not
own
good.
soul?
It's not good enough. How can you prove? I need proof that you have your voice is solid enough and good enough to listen to.
So how do you guide clients and people to listen to their voice, to their intuition?
Well, it has to start with the trust. Trust starts with an honesty. So the very first thing you need to do is to be as honest as possible. And even up to these days, I'm still working on that because honesty is a very, very big thing. And I mean it all type of honesty because people say lies, white lies, like maybe that's not lie, but just a little bit is okay. No, it's not okay. So start learning to be absolutely honest. Once you're honest with yourself, you're honest with others. And as you see there is honesty, then you can trust.
So self-awareness.
Yes, self-awareness, it's also there. And there are a number of other things too. It's not just that simple. But my simple suggestion, begin just with an honesty. Go through the day, just one day, 24 hours, and pay attention. What did I say? How did I answer? I'll give you just a simple example. I was on Christmas Day. It just happens that my kids were not with me, and I was kind of celebrating it on my own. And I walked my dog, and neighbors asked, like, "Hey, hi, like, are you doing what? Are you doing big Christmas tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." I didn't want to go into details, but then I realized, like, why would I answer this way? You know, they asked me, like, what am I doing? Maybe they could have invited me. But for some reason, I decided to hide it. And that's what I mean by not honest. Like, no, I didn't lie anybody, but I was not honest with myself. So this one, I'm slowly trying to pull out even these little things. And I realized, like, if I'm not honest to myself, how can I be honest to others?
Why do you think we're so scared of being honest with ourselves and with other people?
It looks ugly. People do not like. Everybody goes to social media, and people like to see the best version of us. And this is wrong. I mean, it's not going to last for long. This is not good simply because there are all type of versions, and there is nothing wrong about it. It's beautiful. Sometimes a person is not in a good mood, sometimes in a good mood, that's fine. But trying to hide and showing only one best version, like this is the best picture, or this is the best like 1 minute shot of me, well, how about the rest of the day? Or like, you know, I always like to give example with movies. Some movies, they're so beautiful to watch, but then you realize like they are so unreal. Like nobody lives lives like that.
The Hollywood life.
Yes. So that's where it starts. It's not honest. It's not like who we are. So we need to appreciate every moment, every part of us. Good part, bad part, weak, strong, all of that. Once you start trusting that entirely everything who you are is good, you don't need to hide anything. And it comes back again to honesty. Why do you need to lie? Because you try to hide something.
So that's stepping into the realm of vulnerability and authenticity.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's a big, big
How do you
word.
practice vulnerability and authenticity?
Every day. I'm just, again, it starts with who I am. I keep asking myself a number of times. I don't have just one answer, and I realize it can change through the time. It's not just like I'm just one solid person. Think about even the skin on our body changes entirely through 6 months.
Wow.
So you're not the same person as you were like a
Wow.
year ago. So
The
it's
only
the same
thing that never
inside.
changes is change.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's always, it keeps changing. So, but look inwards, that's who we are from the inside. We keep changing all the time. And working on yourself, your best higher self, inner self, is very important. It's everyday work we need to do.
Thank you for sharing that. That was powerful. What were some of the biggest challenges and initiations that shaped the woman that you are today?
Oh, gosh.
Where to start?
Yes, where to start? I like to say sometimes that I probably lived few lives in my life here, partly because I was born in Ukraine, and then I lived in Russia.
That's where your beautiful accent comes from.
Yes, and then partly New Zealand, just short time, and then the U.S. and If you ask me what's my home, I don't know anymore. What's my nationality, I'm not sure anymore. It's like my world is entire home. I welcome everything. So where it starts back in Ukraine, and because of my challenges with my family, my father specifically, who was an alcoholic and very abusive, I left home early. So at the age of 16, I had to live on my own. Pretty much, I left home with 15 rubles in my pocket. At that time, it was equivalent to $15.
Wow.
And that's how I started my life. I went to Moscow. It ended up being not just a different city, but a different country.
Wow.
At the age of 16, I didn't comprehend a lot of these
You were
things.
16?
I was 16, yes.
Wow. So young.
It was very challenging, very difficult, and I can complain a lot but it helped enormously. That's who I am now. Because it shaped me, it made me strong, it made me tough, and it made me, like, I can do all type of work. I'm not, and life is like, you ask me about anything, it's beautiful. I love my life. I love people because I've seen worse. I love my situation, even if it's challenging, because I've been in much worse situation. So I will say, like, yes, it was very challenging those years, but that's partly why I'm having good life now. And
I'm glad you are, and I'm celebrating that with you.
oh, thank you, I'm so
And
excited.
that made me think, if there's anybody that is 16 watching right now, what message would you tell them if they're growing up with an abusive father or mother, or if they have a dream, or if the voice of their heart is telling them to do something or be something?
Well, follow your heart. Follow your heart. Whatever you believe you want to do and you're into and you're excited, do that. I know there is a lot of times we have dilemma. Well, if I do arts, for instance, I'm not going to make money in my life. But if I do, I don't know, like management of business administration, I'm going to make a lot of money. Well, guess what? You might make a lot of money, but you will be very unhappy. So my recommendation will be just follow your heart, but you also need to figure out how finances work so you can pay for the rest of it, for all the expenses.
Money, money, money.
Money, money, yes.
How was your work with Mars and Venus dynamics changed the way you see relationships, love, and communication? How has your work with Mars and Venus dynamics changed the way you see relationships, love, and communication?
I'll just give a small introduction. I went to Mars and Venus program simply because I was going through divorce and something didn't work out for me in relationship. So when I went through that program, it helped me enormously understand why men do certain things, women do other things, and sometimes we have all these misconnections. Do you want me to relate sometimes? Like what miscommunications we might have? For instance, women, we have ability to do multitasking. So we can do a few things at once. And I'll give you an example. Like, for instance, I do not watch movies that often, but if I do, I like to knit, for instance. So I can do a few things at the same time, and I love it. For men, it's harder. Men will be very good at going deep into certain subject and just explore and be so good at that subject. But they are clueless about relating to other things. And so combining both men and women actually make it beautiful relationships. Why? Because women do their parts, connecting, communicating, making sure it's all good.
Cohesive.
Everybody feels great about it, and men are ensure that the system is supportive, and we can continue like that together. It's
Masculine and feminine dynamics.
Yes, it's very important. In fact, we have both of those inside of each person. It's just that men will have less of feminine power, women will be less of man power, and that's how it works. Going back to Mars Venus, yes, it's just understanding the study, scientific knowledge, how brain works, men versus women. It's just so interesting. Like then I realized, like, oh, that's why my ex did this and this and that. oh, that's why I did certain things that upset him. And so I could always relate it to brain rather than to him personally. And that helps enormously understanding. It's not that that person, like say, a couple has problems. It's not that like say husband has issues. No, he's just dealing with a certain environment,
Yeah.
capability. And we need to understand that. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm good with this coaching. I help people to understand, comprehend how different we are, to what extent we are different. And so that will help people to go further and improve their relationship.
And to bring in that compassion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So,
love.
you homeschool your children through university.
Yes.
What did that journey teach you about trust, intuition, and unconventional paths?
Well, quite often I am unconventional. So that's partly why I did homeschooling. Uh, Homeschooling helped me to kind of, I was all about family. And so homeschooling kids, it helped to keep this family together. Because when we send kids to school, we pretty much say, okay, goodbye, you're on your own now. I'm not saying it's bad, but there should be a good balance of loving home when kids feel like they're back home and life is good, versus going out, getting some friends to know and play and or study, whatever. So there should be a good balance. And my purpose was to give them this balance, give love, give trust, fully 100% they can trust that there is a place they can always come, they can get help, they can get their answers if they need and all that stuff. So it was an important part of my life. It shaped me in a different way. Like one example I can give you, I thought I knew history. I studied so much back in Soviet Union. Our schools actually considered to be one of the top schools. But I realized I knew nothing after I started doing homeschooling. Why? Because that schooling was just like propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did my own studies, how to teach kids, I realized like, oh, there is so much more that we did not know. And I can actually teach and I can open eyes, to, my kids' eyes and just to the world and show the world in a much bigger way. And that was so exciting.
And also in a way that is more attuned to their needs
Yes.
and to who they really are, not just repeating something just to repeat it. That doesn't make any sense. To me, it was actually pretty boring when I was in school, and I was like, what are these people talking about? Like, I don't want to hear this. This is boring.
Yeah. That's how it started for us, actually. My kids were complaining they could not stand schools. They did not do well. I just hated. My youngest son was actually crying a lot, and he was fighting. And I realized, like, what am I doing? Like, I can do that for them. So it was challenging at first. I didn't know anything. For me, it was a big thing to unschool. So how do I, because I was programmed to school, but how do you unschool? Because the life, the environment, it's already school for them. So learn from your environment, trust it. Learn, make your lessons. And actually, it's not a lot if you think about it. It's like they need to know academics, like science, certain things, some arts. And the rest of the time we filled up with stuff that they love to do. So like gymnastics, kung fu, playing music. They are very advanced in music.
It can be way more fun.
Yes.
And make it what works for you, for your family.
Yes.
And,
so they picked up their classes. I told them, like, this is your school. You pick it up, whatever you want to learn. And yeah, it went great.
How many children do you have?
3.
3, wow.
Yes.
Me and my former partner were raising his 4, or they were also my 4 adopted, his nephews and nieces, and we homeschooled them for a year, and that was such a super expansive and beautiful experience. And I have read that children that go through homeschooling, they're more confident, they make more money, and they do well in life. They do better in life than children that are in the school system.
Absolutely, yes. They are more independent. They're responsible. And from early age, they learn how to do their work. We usually learn how you finish your work and then you have fun stuff, whatever you need to do. And once they're accustomed to that, it's easier. So going to college, it's like we didn't even need to prepare for college or university because it was all built up there for them. They naturally did that very well, easily.
Love it. Thank you for sharing and transitioning a little bit now to the astrology part of it. How do you use Vedic astrology as a practical tool for decision making and alignment in real life? And how can people use Vedic astrology? What is Vedic astrology first?
Yes, so Vedic astrology comes from India. It's over thousands, 4,000 or 5,000 years old.
Wow.
Very ancient knowledge, and it comes from Hindu pretty much, and it's written in Vedas about astrology. So, as the way I studied astrology, I love that style simply because they will take that old ancient knowledge and kind of unbury it and adapt to current days. So the way I do astrology is very applicable, very practical. So I do not like to use terms that are not clear to people many times. So instead, like, okay, what can you do with this knowledge? That's my key. I want the person to be, after the reading, I want the person to be equipped with certain tools or understanding, like, oh, now it's like more clarity and I know what to do with my life. Yes. How do I use Vedic astrology in my life? Quite often I like to check positions once in a while. I do that and just, when I make certain decisions, it helps me to understand why I might be too emotional, for instance, or jumping to conclusions, or vice versa. Nothing just happening for me. No matter what I try hard, it just like doesn't happen at all. I also use Vedic astrology for trading markets. So I trade stocks, ETFs, funds, and on, like number of things, currencies. And I've seen with my own example how it works. I do not share yet with people just because I consider it, I don't like to prognose and tell people that you have to do this or that, because I do not do prognosis. I don't like to tell people the future. I believe future has a few outcomes and it depends on everybody. So for myself, I can choose to do this or that way. But if I tell you certain things, it has to be your call. So I will never, that's why I do not prognose and tell you like what's going to happen, or you should buy this stock and that stock. But overall, the trend I can see easily. And like, for instance, we've passed through the corridor of eclipses. We just had solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, and it was very powerful. And plus, we had conjunctions. Number of planets were conjuncted first in Sagittarius and then Aquarius, and it's a very, very powerful position. So in Aquarius, for instance, it represented the entire world, and we can see all these changes worldwide still taking place, like the wars, unfortunately, a lot of economical, geopolitical changes, and it's a result of the eclipses. Well, not the eclipses, positions of the certain planetary units. But I would say planets kind of enhance situation, just add extra strength to what we already have. So conflicts were already here on planet Earth. But as we move to these eclipses, and when we have these conjunctions of number of planets, and plus lunar node, which is Rahu, was right there with, in Aquarius. So that just makes it even harder. It just makes it more powerful, stronger, and everybody can see it now. So, and the results, yeah, we might see it over, I hope just a few months. I hope it's not going to be going into bigger wars. Let's just pray and hope it's not going to be that way.
I have heard Rahu. Ketu.
Yes. Rahu is a lunar node, a northern lunar node, and Ketu is a south lunar node.
So for anybody, as you were sharing, navigating loss and uncertainty right now, what are the first steps to reconnecting with their inner compass, and how can they use Vedic astrology to reconnect with their inner compass?
Again, I will go back to the subject of being honest. Being honest, number one, honest with yourself, honest with others. Also, subject of trusting yourself and trusting others. So once we trust ourselves and others, we don't need to pretend. We don't need to lie because we're honest. Why do you need to lie if you're honest? You see, you need to lie because you need to hide something that you believe is not good enough. Mm-hmm. So, and that's where it comes, like trusting yourself, loving yourself, empowering yourself, knowing that you're good enough, just the way you are. You don't need to do anything more than that. You're just good enough. And you can also keep improving yourself if you like it, but it should not be a struggle. It should not be something that will take a lot of energy of you. So that's important to understand. So the question is, how do I reconnect with Vedic astrology? Is that right?
How to reconnect with your inner voice, and also how to use Vedic astrology to reconnect with your inner voice.
Yes. So in Vedic astrology, I see chart, and I can see exactly the positions of certain stars, planets, how it is on a chart, and based on that, I can pretty much say. Chart is a blueprint. So you were born with a blueprint, just like we have a blueprint of the house, like somebody's trying to build. It's the same. It's a blueprint. Is it 100% so? No, but majority of it is going to be obvious. Still on your life, it's going to reflect. Also using transitions. So transitions is what we see right now in the sky. If you look up, that's what you see. So back 1,000 years ago, why did they choose actually certain planets, and they also in Vedic astrology, and they have Rahu and Ketu, and plus moon and the sun. Why? Because they could see that far, they could see those planets, and they could track them, and they knew number of years. Finally, they figured out their path. So there were not telescopes at that time, going all the way back to thousands of years. They used that knowledge. So, and they knew it correlates directly with our certain events. For instance, will be kings ruling the country. They will never do their certain actions without consulting astrology back those days, because that was so important. And so they had a very good knowledge by tracking all of these planets with naked eyes. It's amazing what they've done. So back to our days, it's cool, Vedic astrology. When I see the blueprint of your life, I can tell you, why you might struggle, what can improve, because it's right there. And let's say you have a few possibilities, and quite often it's a few possibilities, not just one. You're a teacher, and that's it. There is nothing else for you. No, there are other choices, and we'll go through that, through the chart. And you will see there are different choices for you, but you've never explored for one reason or the other. So knowing astrology, it helps enormously to understand what you're capable, what's your weakest, what's your strongest point, and what you should pay attention to. We can also relate it to the time frame. So we're not just talking in general, that's your blueprint back when you were born, but I can actually go and break it in time frame. For the rest of the life, it's possible in Vedic astrology. And I can tell in specific periods what's expecting, what's going to happen, what might happen, probably. Okay? And why these things are not really happening for you, because there is a resistance. So on and on. And it can be extremely, extremely helpful. I would recommend Vedic astrology for many people, those who are open to esoterical knowledge. If somebody is not open, if people believe that, oh, it's all wrong, it's not going to help, they should not be asking an astrologer to help. They can go and figure out their own path.
And I've heard that Vedic astrology is 22 days more accurate than the Western one.
It has to do with calculations, and we can spend another hour here. I'll just throw one word, Ayanamsha, if anybody wants to check it out.
Ayanamsha.
Ayanamsha, yeah, that's the angle. discrepancy between Vedic astrology we have and between the Western style. We take different calculations. So in fact, I've been frustrated for some time, but not anymore. Like you can see it's like full moon, like say in, I don't know, in the Pisces, for instance, in the Western style, hold on, it's not full moon in Pisces, it's in Aquarius.
So what was the new moon
Well,
in
that's what
Vedic?
I'm telling you. No, but as you go and you realize, like say, or even for instance, in Western style, constellations of planets were not in Aquarius, but it was past eclipse. It was not in Aquarius, it was in Pisces. And that's a drastic difference. I just cannot
Yeah.
describe. It's completely screws up the entire chart. I don't want to kind of argue or say who's right, who's wrong.
Welcome to one more rabbit hole.
I'm just, I welcome you to go and do your own research. And I've done my own research. And that's partly why I do Vedic astrology, just because it's more aligned with me.
And just something fun, something new to explore,
Yes.
right? To give ourselves permission to explore, to allow our imaginations, like I was saying yesterday at the Passy Ground, at the Sound Healing and Sun Circle. Thank you, Eldon, and everybody that was there. By the way, that was such a beautiful experience, and the energy was so beautiful, and the energy of play. We can play through Vedic astrology or Western astrology or human design or yoga, which, by
Yes.
the way, you are a yoga instructor and you are teaching classes here.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, of course. I'm a yoga teacher, and I teach here on Thursdays at 5 o'clock. And my idea, actually, of having yoga, not just yoga, but community. And we are working on that. John is a wonderful, wonderful person who owns this place. In fact, I do feel like I'm at home here. And it's nice location, nice area, and our purpose is to bring community here. We are not here just to make money on tourism. So idea is to bring people here and have practice together. And I love it. I love the whole idea. We are trying to get more people, and we want to be just loud there.
So
Like,
invite
if you know,
them.
is it right there? So if you know anybody who's interested in community, not just yoga, but also community, we offer about 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It's limitless, actually. After the class, we just chat, because everybody who comes here for yoga, I want everybody to know their names. I want to know what they're doing here in life, why they're in Sedona. Maybe they just moved, maybe they need something, just asking certain questions. Come on, this is why we are here.
Come
this
exactly as you are.
Yes.
It's not about perfection, it's about bringing your heart exactly where you are on your journey.
Yes,
And
and yoga is much bigger. Yoga is not the practice of the body. Yoga is the practice of life. So practice it in your life.
how long you have been practicing yoga?
Oh gosh, my own practice back, let's say 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, teaching, I don't even remember. Let me see, maybe 15 years.
How
Yes.
has yoga changed your life, transformed your life?
Dramatically. So I started yoga when I started my having babies, and I was exhausted, tired, and just kind of frustrated, I remember. And so going to yoga class was just so energizing. So first of all, it's physical exercise. But when we get back to our physicality, it works perfectly nice. Our mental health works excellent. If everything works well, you know, the soul is aligned. Our higher self is aligned. And I loved it. And I used to I remember I would have like sleepless nights. And I loved it, you know, going and working out. And then my best pose was Shavasana at the time. Because just during that few minutes, I was able even to fall asleep, get the most rest, most workout, come back home and like, whoo, feel like energized. It's helped me enormously, enormously. And that's how we decided I'm going to teach yoga, because I want to pass this knowledge and my wisdom to others. And it's very important to practice yoga. And I have to admit, it's better to practice together. It just there's
In
more
community.
in community, there's more stimuli. And by the way, we do invite people sometimes, check us out. You know, you can have first class for free if you want, and bring your friend. You know, and if it's, we just want to have you guys, have Sidonians here.
Yes.
The more the merrier.
So when is the next class again?
It's on Thursday, next Thursday,
Thursdays.
at 5 o'clock.
Beautiful.
And it's an hour and 15 minutes, and we do everything. It's a breathing technique. It's also it's a workout. Body has to sweat at least once a day to feel good. It's also stretching, and I do deep stretching. So there is no exercise is good without stretching. I always say, you exercise, make sure you stretch.
It's like a warm-up.
Well, it's again back to feminine and masculine. So masculine is all
And that's
like
my next.
flex your muscle. Feminine is like relax, flex, relax. And so once you do both, you'll be at the most best shape, because your body develops much bigger range of motions. You know, all this pain in whatever joints, you know, muscles. After stretching, it's going to help you to release that pain. And it's very powerful, yes. Sometimes, as I say, like, you don't even need to go to a chiropractor if you keep practicing yoga continuously. So, like,
It helps align your body, your spine, your
and your
muscles.
mind, your breath, and your mind, everything, everything. So it's so powerful. I love yoga, and I love teaching to others. So welcome, everybody. Give it a try.
So, talking about feminine power and wisdom, for you and in your own experience in your journey, what does it truly mean for a woman to be in her power in today's world?
This is probably the most difficult question, and partly why, because we have the world has expectations. Women supposed to be stronger now. So if women stronger, if they work, if they have their career, beautiful. But guess what? They're not women anymore. So, and I'm sorry, I can argue like with some women, they'll say, no way, we are women, that's fine. But I see, again, masculine power and feminine power to come together. One has to be weak, one has to be strong. One has to do certain things, the other is doing the other things. And it collides, it's like a puzzle. It matches. So if there is no matching, so what's happening? It's like flat. You just meet together for a couple of weekends and done. And this is that's what we see in relationship, unfortunately. And as a life coach and relationship coach, I can tell you that's a big issue, because women are trying to work, they're trying to create career, and it's good if you can align with your home and bearing a children. So that's the other question. It's not easy to have children, being a good mom, being a good housewife, and also build a career. So something is going to lack. And I've seen many examples when a woman is very powerful, she's able to earn a lot of money, sometimes even more than her husband. And she's still trying to be a mom, but she doesn't have enough time. And she still tries to cook, but she just doesn't have all this time available, and she's exhausted. So what's good of that? She's a little bit of mom, just tiny bit of housewife, a bit of wife, but she's good at career. So it's quite often it's too much. So we expect, our society expects too much from women to work and do all of that. Why that happens? Well, partly because women did not like how men treated, so it goes back to history. And I think it's probably time to revise this. Mm-hmm. So revise, and when when I meet, I'm searching for my partner, for instance, and I like to be upfront. I'm a feminine, and I don't mind if I don't have a career. I'm okay. I'm doing little things I enjoy them doing, and I'm good enough, and I'm very happy with myself. And I'm upfront, and that's who I am. So, and it's
honesty.
I'm honest,
right?
Exactly. It comes back to honesty, and sometimes people do not like that, because they want to impress, they want to be big, they want to play something on Instagram.
Playing a character.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But once you build that character, you have to slave to that character.
Yep.
So are you ready for that?
The mask will come off sooner or later.
Yes, that's right.
So let's take the mask off.
Yes, I love that, yes.
Many people receive insights but struggle to act on them. How do you support your clients in actually living and embodying their truths?
Very good questions, yes. Yes, we do get a lot of insights, everybody gets. It's just like we have eyesight. If we use our eyes, we can see. If we don't want to use our eyes, we close our eyes all the time, we don't see. The same with hearing. It's every sense of our body, everything you take, whatever energy you put, you're going to utilize it. If you get insight, you need to train yourself. I will put it very simple. You need to practice how to learn to trust your insights, your vision, how to be okay with that. It's coming, like, okay, what is that? Is it my ego is telling me, or it's actually my intuition tells me something? So how do I identify? It's practice. So start practicing. Some people are very good with seeing things remotely. Some people are good touching and like, oh, I think I've been here. Something like taking a rock, for instance, like, yes, I know the history of that rock. So trust that knowledge. So something came in, try to describe, try to go deeper into that and practicing. And eventually we're going to get access to the information we need to.
I love that you're saying that it's a practice because it could be overwhelming. Oh my gosh, how do I master all this stuff? How do I do all this jazz? It's just one moment at a time, and the practice of giving ourselves and one another grace. Because it's not about perfection.
No.
Authenticity is not perfect at all, and we are not perfect at all. Life can be messy. Life is real. So let's give ourselves and one another more grace.
We have the entire life to practice and to learn. So it's normal. Just start doing it. That's
Yep.
what it is. Don't
Yep.
wait until you're 80 and like, oh, the whole life passed. That like, what have I done, other than making money and preserving my investments?
And my last question, and it's about vision and legacy. It says, as we and you look forward to the future, what impact do you feel called to create in 2026 and beyond?
Are you asking me specifically?
Mm-hmm.
So
Where is Julia called? What is Julia called to create? What is your vision? What is your dream? What are you being called to create more of in 2026 and beyond?
well, number one, I'm called to be just myself. And myself in all aspects of that. And it doesn't matter if I'm weak, if I'm not good enough, if I'm not loud enough, if I'm not famous, or all those things, I don't care anymore. So stop pretending, stop being somebody who I don't necessarily need to be. I feel like maybe it's cool, maybe it's not, but finally I'm okay to let it go and just be myself. And begin learning about myself. It's a long path. It's amazing. It's not just one thing, like, oh, I know it. It's long path, and I love it because I discovered a number of things that like, whoa, I can spend more time on that, and I want to explore. So my simple vision is just to be who I am. I have a few areas I'm already doing, like astrology, coaching, and I also do backpacking, as we discussed before, actually.
That was actually so fun when John was sharing about that behind the scenes. Would you share a little bit about that? That is actually a fun fact, and
Yes,
that's really cool.
it is cool, and I like doing it. It's just something I like.
For a week?
Actually, I've done for a month. Yes.
How? What does it look like?
So yes, so it's I do with my daughter. I backpacked with my daughter, and we started early enough. So back maybe when she was maybe 10 years ago, even more. So we started with a small, tiny bit steps, like little trips, hiking, and then backpacking trips, like overnight. And I slowly built up strength because I'm not that strong. Like, look, I'm a little tiny woman, and I slowly built that strength. And each year we will just try to go further. Like then we did, I remember 48 miles. Like whoo! And then we did
48 miles?
Yes.
Wow.
And then we did 90 miles, and then 200 miles, like, woo, it feels good because something accomplished. And the most important thing was for me after the trip, it's like, I can do more. I don't feel like I'm exhausted. I didn't break anything on my body. And I felt so empowered. In fact, I talked to a number of backpackers who report the same thing. There is like withdrawal period when you stop backpacking and like you come back to the life and it's almost like a stagnancy. What do? Because you've been in body so much for so long. So talking about my trip, like for instance, last year, I think we did almost 700 miles. Pacific Crest Trail. We did sections, a little bit of California, and we did Oregon, all the way to Cascade Locks, to Washington
That's a
State.
whole new level of hiking.
Yes, but again, I've done it for many years. I do not advise to do anything like that, like this year, next year. Be prepared, be smart.
Do you lead groups if anybody wants to go hike with you?
Well, if somebody will really ask, maybe I'll do, but it's responsibility. And, when you backpack, it's a sense of freedom. So, and if I have all these people dependent on me, I almost found like, well,
It's like something for you to nurture
it is something
yourself.
for me, but I almost found like maybe I could do for others, because when people ask me, they just like, they could not believe, and some of them get excited. But unless I get people like strongly wanting it to do, I do not advise to do it unless you absolutely feel like you need this challenge. It is challenging. Let's put it this way. It's very
How are
challenging.
your feet after 700?
You won't believe it. So when you start these long tracks, my legs hurt the most the first few days. That's when you're not in shape still, after maybe hiking for a few hours. I will train at home like few hours a day, maybe going overnights. I do overnights right now. But then all of a sudden you start doing this few days in a row, and your backpack is the most heaviest usually at the beginning of the trip. So that's when your legs hurt the most. And as it progresses, it's nothing. What you have to deal with emotional level of stress. So it's
A lot of stories
mental,
and emotions come
yes,
up.
Mental. It's so much because you are used to certain things. You are used to do this, and it's all gone. And you function within very limited resources. So you have backpack, whatever you can put on your shoulders, that's it. You do not have luxury to put like, oh, maybe I need to have extra of something. No, nothing extra. In fact, I used to use my scale. So before I put stuff in my backpack, I will put on scale and make sure like, no, I can bring the weight down, because you need to bring the weight. I mean, it can be very heavy. Like last trip I did a section of Arizona Trail, 32 pounds. And plus
Wow.
you get extra water. So that's a little bit too much. But usually when two of us, we share like tent and other stuff. Yes. So it's very challenging, and it tests your limits. So if you want to do it, like, you're welcome. But make sure you're prepared.
There you have it, guys. This was Julia. It was so much fun to have you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the conversation. It was really fun getting to know you and just hearing about different aspects of your life, the Vedic astrology, the yoga. Come join her on Thursday at the yoga. I would love to join as well. High five.
Yes, and I welcome everybody. You can check me out on
Yeah, what's your website? How
Yes.
can they connect and work with you?
Knowledge in you.
knowledgeinyou.com.
.com. So just connect those words, and it's my website. You are welcome to. I do astrology, welcome for yoga classes, and also relationship coach. Any questions, you can shoot me email. I'll be very happy to answer. And thank you so much. I love your questions, by the way.
Thank
Yes.
you. It was
And
really fun.
Yes, and it's always nice to be here at Humankind. I invite everybody who lives in Sedona here to Humankind. I do feel like at home, and I really like John tries to encourage us, Sedonians, actually to use this space. And it's great, because we need places. A lot of places are for tourists, you know that. So I feel like I'm back home here.
Join us for karaoke and meditation today. And Thank you so much for joining another episode of the Humankind podcast. This is Giancarlo Tavares. It has been an honor. It has been a pleasure. And I will see you guys next Friday. Invite your friends, invite your family members. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Mwah. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.